Welcome everyone. Today's subject is your recruitment business really unique or truly unique? And let me give you a bit of background on why this session's come up. Why have I picked this topic to focus on today? I'm going to take a sip of coffee just before I start that off. Hold on. Masterminds, you'll know it's my favourite coffee mug. You've seen that one before. The reason it's come up today as a subject is I've actually been working with two masterminds very, very recently. In fact, one yesterday. Two separate masterminds on branding, looking at their brands, and both are going through a rebranding exercise. So we're just starting to really look at them as a business. And you guys will already know a brand or branding is not a logo. Okay, you know that. I'm not teaching you to suck eggs. You know it's not just a logo. It's not just the colors that you use or the picture that you use or the device that you use. Branding is, it's the message, it's the communication, it's just everything about, it's what you and your business stand for, and it's the message that your clients, your candidates, and your, as importantly, your prospects get when they see you anywhere evidenced. Okay, so that's branding. Anyway, these guys are going through a rebranding exercise, and one of the things that came up was, from both of them on separate occasions, Roy, what, we're looking at our website, and we want to put in some unique selling points or USPs. The web designer or the copywriters asked us for our USPs, and we're struggling. And I said to them, okay, why are you struggling? They said, well, every time we think of a USP, we do the acid test, we write it down, and then we ask, is it truly unique? And what they're finding is that it's not. And it's interesting because all the ones that you guys, tailored service, thank you, John, integrity, Sebastian, thank you, specialized in IT, how many, Gareth has said market specialists. How common are these things, right? So Dan saying take the time to meet our candidates, particularly when they don't. That's even worse, isn't it, Dan? When they claim a USP and then actually they don't even do it, all right? That's really, actually I'm laughing, but it's inexcusable. It really is inexcusable. So there's this term USP that's been bandied about in marketing, in selling, and everything else. And I thought, hang on a second, what a great subject, what a great topic to pull up and get some, I don't know, just some kind of interaction with you guys, to look at your markets, look at your competitors, but also to look at your own marketing and branding messages, and really ask yourself the question that my two masterminds are asking, which is, if we're writing it down, is it unique? And I'll be honest, with both of them, they've written down a whole list of USPs, and then every single one of them they've knocked out, because it's failed the is it truly unique? Because if it's not unique, just take it off. So, look, let me kind of throw it out there. What have I seen? I've started, obviously you guys know I've trained over 42,500 recruitment consultants, business owners, leaders, managers, etc. worldwide. You guys know that. I've worked with hundreds of thousands of recruitment companies worldwide. So you can imagine I've seen a lot of recruitment websites. I've gone into a lot of recruitment offices. And I've been around recruitment for 27 years, so I've seen a lot of so-called sorry, I should have done it with two hands, I couldn't do it, so-called USPs, and quite frankly, they are not unique. In 27 years, I've really struggled, personally, I've struggled to find, benefit-driven statements that are USPs to my clients and candidates, truly unique. I would say that if you look at our industry, the majority of messages are not unique sales points, but just SPs. And that's fine, all right, that is fine, as long as you're not claiming that you are unique. Maybe what you want to do is just say, hey, you know what, we're not unique, we're similar to all the rest, but it's our personalities that are different. And actually that would be a more truthful statement to make, because if any of us are using these lines, I did a little bit of kind of, back of a napkin research just prior to this, and I was looking, like you guys have asked you, and you've come up with a tailored service and take time to meet our candidates. Let me tell you what I found, right? If you've got this on any of your branding or any of your sales messages, any of your websites, please don't be embarrassed. I'm not doing this to embarrass you. I'm just doing it to kind of shine a light on it, and maybe make us do something. It's not necessarily about rebranding, but just about thinking about our brand, thinking about our marketing messages and sales messages we put out there, and maybe just, I don't know, listen. And in this session today, by the way, I don't want to just beat you up or make you feel bad about your websites. At the end of today, I'm actually going to give you some really practical, tactical, strategic steps to develop a USP. How about that? Yeah. So do stay tuned. Don't, if you're new to this and thinking, who is this crazy guy with the spiky hair and everything else? Is he going to get to the point? I do get to the point. You're going to get that learning, but you've got to hang in there to the end. So, and not too long, right? So I know we've got limited time today. So look, let me tell you what I found in my research. Here's some phrases. All of these are from UK-based recruitment agencies, but it was only because I didn't have time to do everybody's. But I bet you, in fact, I know that these are commonplace throughout the world. So I don't care where you are in the world. I know Sebastian, I know, I'm not sure Yoni's on today, but he might be watching the replay, but Sebastian's based out in Brussels. We've got people on the thing from all over the world. So endorse any of these, all right? So if you see, or if you know that you see these in your competitor websites across the globe, just say I or whatever. So here's some things. Unique blend. How many times have you heard unique blend? Innovative, I can't even say the word, innovative processes, consistently high levels of service and a real passion. Now, I love that word, I really do, but I think it's almost like one of the most overabused words in the recruitment lexicon. I love passion. I think, I want to be passionate about my thing. I'm not sure that there are many recruitment coaches, trainers, whatever, that use the word passion. I do. But in terms of recruitment businesses, there are gazillions of people that use that phrase. We're passionate. We build ongoing relationships. Yep, we're relationship builders. A professional and approachable team. Okay, professional, approachable team. A member of, and they then kind of put down their different bodies. So a member of the IOR, a member of APSCO, a member of REC. Etc., 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 and whatever your national or international body is, we adhere to a code of practice, good practice. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. You know me, or most of you know me, that I'm all for driving the standards of our industry. But it's really wrong to play it as a USP. It's a sales point we belong to, we adhere to, but as a unique sales point, I would argue that the IOR and APSCO and REC would say that you're not their only member, right? So you're a member of, which is good. Another one that I see a lot is our consultants have been with our company for 5 years or more than 5 years. Our consultants are, come from the industry. Our consultants are professionally trained, though I love that phrase. It's not unique. Our consultants have an in-depth market knowledge. Yada yada yada. Quality level service, ethics, hard working. We have a greater understanding of our clients' needs. Our approach. We have a tailored recruitment service. I used to use that one. We had a tailored approach, or a tailored recruitment service. We've got a level of expertise in our sector. We have a selective approach. We are professional and considered. How many of those are different? How many of those are truly unique? How many of those have you got on your website? And how does that make you feel? Look, heaven forbid if you're one of these business owners, and I know if you've turned up for this, you are probably not one of these business owners, that outsources the copywriting of things like your website, your marketing materials to somebody else. Now, I'm all for outsourcing copywriting, tidying up tidying up the copy that you have and putting it into a language and making sure it's grammatically and all those kind of things that it works. But there is nobody better than you, other than your customers, and I'll come on to that bit in a minute. There is nobody better than you to write the draft of that copy. All right, so I know when copywriters get hold of USPs, and there are some exceptions to this, of course, and I'm sure you've got them working for you, but when most copywriters get hold of writing copy for recruitment business websites and marketing materials, they just put those standard stuff in, all right? And I'm not even going to insult it. They just put standard stuff in that they think, oh, you know, everyone wants to hear we're professional, everyone wants to hear that we're honest, everyone wants to hear that we're ethical. Well, let's face it, would a candidate or a client call someone that advertised we're unethical, unprofessional, we don't work hard? Of course they wouldn't. So I'm going to assume if you've got a business and you've got a website up there, you're all of those things, all right? So, you know, you don't need to win the award for stating the bleeding obvious. What you need to do is put down, hopefully put down stuff that makes you unique. Natalie, great comment, thank you. It's a great subject actually, where I've been thinking I find it really difficult to put into written words what is unique. And when people meet me or talk to me, they often say, I am different. So I was thinking the power of video may be a good way to get the uniqueness across which can't be written. Spot on, Natalie, and Natalie knows this. The power of video is amazing because it, you know, and look, you are unique, all of you, right? Not just Natalie, all of you are unique, and your businesses are unique. And for a client that works with you, they know why. They know, they love you. They, you know, clients that work with you and you've got results with, they love you. They love your uniqueness. But it's not necessarily them that you need to think about or worry about. It's the prospects that don't know you. And, you know, let's be frank, they don't give a monkey's uncle about you. I could have been rude there, but it's too early in the day to swear. They don't really give a, you know, a rat's bottom about you and your USPs and everything else. You know, and what you write. But by putting a video on there that just plays on your website, you can communicate so much. You can get so much across. John, thank you, but isn't the reality of recruitment in 2014 based on defining a USP before we become redundant? Clients can do everything we can do nowadays, so we have to define a visible benefit to our clients or we run the risk of losing them. John, spot on. You know, I really do agree. And the reality of recruitment is that if you look at those websites, if you go and just do, you know, just a little bit of research, pick 10 people in your marketplace, pick 5 competitors that, you know, go up against you and look at their websites. I did this exercise yesterday for my mastermind client, and I was just shocked. I'm like, they all look the same, you know. Some of you use a different template, whatever, but the words, the content is exactly the same. And I just think, well, in fact, let me tell you about why that's not good. One of my favorite books, and it's on my, I believe it's on my 39 top business books to to read if you're a recruitment business owner. You can get that free, by the way, on royripper.com. So just go there. If you haven't got that list, it's an ebook. It's a free one. Go to royripper.com. Get that book. It's the 39 best business books every recruitment business owner should read. Now, in there, I might be shooting myself in the foot, but one of my favorite books, and it should be in there. If it's not, it is, right? Okay, good. Is a book by one of my mentors, considered, you know, one of the, if not the marketing guru of all time, is a guy called Seth Godin, Sethgodin. Okay, Seth Godin, and Seth's written loads of books. Again, another one I recommend is Permission Marketing. But for this particular instance, a brilliant book. It's one of the first ones I ever read by him and was hooked straight away. Is a book called Purple Cow. Purple Cow. I know it sounds weird. If you haven't read it, please do read it. Take the time. It's a small book, all right? It's a short, small book. So, you know, it's one of those ones that I know you'll get it on Amazon, get it on Barnes & Noble, do whatever, get down WH Smith, get your book, read it. It will take you, I don't know, a couple of hours, but read it again because that's when it starts to really imprint on you. Now, what will I tell you about that book? You know, Seth Godin, you know, he would say to you, what's the purple cow in all of this? And a purple cow, if you think about it, if you were driving down the road, I don't know, I live in Sussex, Sebastian, you're over in Brussels, if you were driving down a country road and you passed by a field of cows and you saw Dan, it is, spotted it last night, good man. If you were driving down a country road, and you saw a field of cows, and in the middle of these cows, it's really funny because I've got a field outside, I've got a whole load of cows and a big bull and everything else, and he's literally just next door to this wall here, behind this wall, sorry. But if you saw a purple one, boy, that would stand out, wouldn't it? It really would. And what Godin says is, a purple cow is a creature that stands out from the rest, like a sore thumb. All right, so a purple cow would stand out like a sore thumb, and it would be a creature so remarkable that everyone who sees it will be remarking on it. It's like, wow, what's that? You'd probably get crashes, wouldn't you, if you're driving cars? Dan's spotted it last night. I don't know, Dan, did you see the purple cow? I'm now worried that Dan was maybe, I don't know, as he staggered home one evening after a client, I don't know, entertainment or whatever, spotted the purple cow. But it's that thing, though, isn't it? Look, James Caan, again, you guys know, my first recruitment business was with James. One of the biggest lessons I got from James was, Roy, you know what, when the whole crowd or industry or sector or niche is swimming one way, this is a fish swimming, when they're swimming one way, be the person, be the lone fish that swims in the opposite direction. Do something different, do something remarkable. Now, James at that point, I don't think had known about Seth Godin and purple cows, but clearly, the book on your list, thank you, Dan. James clearly kind of, and you can see by James's success, when everyone's going one way, it's like he'll do the other. When it's an expected thing to do, he'll do the other. So it's really different to the way that most recruitment businesses operate, which is the same as, or same old, same old. It's like, oh, well, we're an IT recruitment business. What do IT recruitment businesses always say? Well, we're specialists in IT. Brilliant. Let's write that one down. We have a database of 20 billion gazillion candidates. Right, let's write that one down. We are I don't know, professionally trained recruitment consultants. Can you see what I'm saying? It's like, just don't be beige. That was the phrase that I used with my mastermind yesterday. Beige, and no disrespect to beige at all. And if you've got beige or cream on your website, you'll probably be all right. But what I mean by beige, what I mean by cream is, don't be mediocre. Don't be boring. Be the person, be the purple cow. People go, oh my God, what's that? Now, Godin talks about being remarkable and standing out and actually alienating some people. Now, this is in direct contradiction to the marketing wisdom that's been around for the centuries that people have marketed. And the marketing wisdom, what they used to tell you was, what you want to do? You want to market and you want to cast the net really wide. Let's not upset anybody. Let's not alienate anybody. You want to sell to as many people as you possibly can. You want to sell your product, your service to as many people as you possibly can. Let's just go out there and shout about our company and what we do. Okay. Cool. Can I just ask you, can everyone see my face? Can you see my face on thingy? I just had a note that somebody couldn't. I just want to make sure that you can. Just say yes, Roy, or something like that. Natalie, you're right. James Caan, love that advice from James. In life in general, it really does apply. It's been noticed, isn't it? I get it's been noticed. Be the person that kind of stands out from the crowd. I like that. I really, really like that. Because if you're someone that just looks like the crowd, well, then from a client or a candidate point of view, I'm spoiled for choice because there's a lot of beige out there. Be the person that's actually so remarkable that you get that Marmite reaction. There's another brand, right? Love it or hate it. It's a really, really good example. Love it. Yeah, okay, everyone's going, yeah, I can see you. Okay. Brilliant. All right, listen, D-cart on this side, so I just want to make sure you guys could. Wow, okay, yes, I can see that lovely face. Thank you, Gareth. That's really, really kind. and the chat notes too. Graham, no worries at all. Thank you. I won't read it. I think recruitment. Okay, John saying recruitment agencies remain reactive. Our industry is so often behind the curve for innovation technology. RPO is an old idea marketed in a unique way. Yep, James. Actually, I can get where you're going with this, John. It's like James, I know, got on that RPO with Web Recruit. Thank you, Stacey. You can see me too. Good. Sebastian's asking me, are our clients not also looking to be reassured? Yes, when they look at our websites. If they're looking for the usual codes and words that describe our industry. Sebastian, it's a really, really good point. You know, some people said to me, boy, you know, do we really want to be that remarkable? If we, you know, what if people don't know we're a recruitment agency? You know, what if people don't know what we do? And funnily enough, one of the masterminds I'm working with, when you get to see his website, and I can't reveal it to you now because it's still in construction, he's not released it, but his brief, all right, when I started working, he said, I want my website to not look like a recruitment website. Now I know we're getting onto websites, and that's around, it's away from USPs, but let me just deal with this question because it is about the uniqueness, and Sebastian's raised that point. His market, by the way, is biotech, bioindustries, life sciences. You know, it's that kind of it's sales within that particular arena. Now, when we looked at all of his competitor websites, that's great advice for you, by the way. Look at your competitors' websites. Look at what they are touting as their USPs. You'll see a lot of similarity, and there may be some that are really unique. Have a look at those, because just because they've written them down doesn't mean that they own them. All right, you can always claim that one. You know, if they're claiming that they are, I don't know, they deliver candidates in 2 weeks or something, and they're not doing that, well, then maybe that could become your USP. All right, so just because someone writes it down doesn't mean that they own that USP. Let me talk about Paul. So Paul's brief on this was when we looked at these other websites. Guess how many web pages? Remember, biotech, life sciences, technical laboratories, all that kind of stuff. Guess how many competitor websites he looked at that featured people working in a laboratory? Okay, just think about that for a second. Guess how many websites he looked at that featured doctors with stethoscopes, generally men as well, all right? So it's like reassuring picture, man, grey hair, you know, white coat, laboratory. Actually, why in a laboratory would you have a stethoscope? I'm not sure, but anyway, you know, medical websites, stethoscopes, pens in the top pocket, looking quite serious. The other one that he said to me was, he said, you know, every single competitor of his, I'm giving it away. How many of his competitors do you think had the DNA helix? You know, that kind of like it shows the helix strand or the DNA strand. How many of his competitor websites do you think had those? All of them. All right, every single bloody one of them had those things on. So Paul's brief was, I don't want my website to have any of those images. I don't want to have my website have any of those types of USPs. I want it to be refreshingly different. I want clients, because of his quirk, he said he wanted clients to go on there and prospects and not know straight away what it was. Now, you might think that's crazy, and some of you I know work in markets where that might not be the right approach for you, but for him it's the right approach. So he's got some really different images. He's got some you know, really different marketing messages that actually, if I tell you my reaction, I'm sure it's going to be yours when you look at it, is it jolts you. You look at the website and you're like, oh my God, what is that? You know, and it can get that reaction. It can be that like complete disbelief. Is this guy a lunatic? You know, all of those things. But boy, he's remarkable. It's definitely the purple cow in his particular. Thank you, Anna's saying recruitment websites are so bland. They really are, or they can be. And I'm sure all of yours aren't so bland, right? I know that. In fact, I do know that some of your websites are really, really particularly good. But look, what else can I tell you about this? Look, we've seen. You know, you guys have put down some phrases. I've read out some phrases to you. How are we going to change the world? How are we going to? In fact, I don't even care about the world. I don't want to change the recruitment world. I want to help you be remarkable. I want to help you make sure that your recruitment agency stands out from the crowd. I want you to be the purple cow in your industry. or in the case of my other mastermind yesterday, the purple horse. All right, so I want you to be the purple horse, cow, whatever you want to be in your particular industry. I just want to read this from Natty on websites. Maybe it's a good idea to use a web designer who's never done a recruitment website before. I love that, Natalie. My web guy didn't even know a thing about the recruitment industry, which I liked because he didn't put me in a box. Really, really good. Very, very good advice, and thank you. Cool. Okay. So look, I want to give you something. You know, let's spend the rest of this session. I want to give you some practical, tactical steps in terms of how do you develop a USP. It's pointless me just sitting here and criticizing, or all of us criticizing recruitment websites, and then going, brilliant, let's just accept that then and move on, and we'll worry about something else tomorrow. You know, let's do something. Let's commit to doing something. Let you commit to doing something today. You're coming up for I don't know, a holiday break. Some of you in your businesses, maybe it's a time for you to think about, you know, our positioning. Thank you, John. And John's put, is it best to have a really strong guarantee as the USP? Something we're so bold, it's a bit scary. Kate's spot on with that observation. She's asking, is it best to have a really strong guarantee as the USP? Something almost so bold, it's a bit scary. John, I know you're looking for feedback on your website. I'll definitely have a look at it afterwards, and you know, any of the others, I know they're on it. They might look at it for you as well. Talentpartners.co.uk. So Kate, it's a really, really good point. Let me share something with you. It was a slogan or whatever, slogan, USP. Let's have a look. Tell me who this is, right? Answers on a postcard. Write them up. I'll give a prize. Actually, just bragging rights. I'll give bragging rights to the person that gets up their first answer to this, right? Who is this company? Fresh, hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. Okay, so I'm just going to wait until whoever comes up with the first one, you get the bragging rights on that. Remember, fresh, hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed. All right, did you like that? Guaranteed. Gareth, good question. What other recruitment websites have you seen where it get anywhere close to a purple cow? Well, hopefully the two masterminds I was working with yesterday, and they are a work in progress, but I will share those with you. I will share those with you. Both of their websites, actually, if you look to them now, they're okay, but they're not it. Domino, actually, Anna was the first one. Right, brilliant. Gareth, you were just behind her. So Domino's, right, absolutely perfect. So Kate, your question about the guarantee. Now I know it's all about pizza, but look, if you guys know the story about Domino's, Domino's were close to foreclosure. All right, they were going down the pan. They were, if you pardon the pun, they were going down the pan. They were going towards bankruptcy, foreclosure. That company was about to wind up, and then I don't know who it was. I don't know, you know, whether it's even noted anywhere. But some genius, and they really are, came up with this thing, you know, fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less, guaranteed, or your money back, or something like that. And overnight, that business just boomed. Now, the reason why I chose this one to illustrate Kate's point was, the question I get asked is, Roy, you know what, in recruitment, it's such a saturated market that how can we come up with stuff that's, you know, truly unique? You know, isn't it, you know, we're all the same, aren't we? It's like same old, you know, we're professional, we're honest, we've got ethics, everything else. Well, think about it, pizza, you think recruitment is saturated? How many pizza firms are there? How many companies, how many, it's like, sometimes I walk out of, you know, I walk around in town and everything, and you're almost knocked down by these different pizza delivery services that are going on. So Anna's got it, she's going, woohoo, she won. You know, we're inundated. And Domino's didn't turn around and say, you know, what are the classic ones? You know, secret sauce. They didn't play the secret sauce line. What else did they not do? Let's have a look. What was the other one? I can't think. Yeah, they didn't come up with that stuff, didn't they? I was trying to find out. Yeah, they didn't, you know, and any of you that have eaten Domino's are more studenty, right? So it's like, or they used to be. You know, I'm sure that quality-wise, they're really, really good. But Domino's used to really appeal to students, and because they were cheap, they could be delivered, they had this promise and everything else. But they've never turned around and gone, we are the best pizzas, we are the, the nouveau cuisine pizza, we are, quality ingredients or anything like that. They didn't say we're using secret sauce from the old country, back in Italy, and it's an ancient recipe or anything like that. They just went on one thing. It was that guarantee that Kate was asking. The guarantee, they worked out, their people wanted fresh pizza, hot pizza, and they wanted it delivered quickly, and they wanted a guarantee. It's like, get your money back if we don't deliver on our promise. I love that slogan, okay? Now, slogans aren't necessarily USPs, but USPs can become slogans. Other ones I liked, this one came up for me because it was like, wow, man, this is a really, really clever one. Stella Artois, if you're familiar with Stella Artois as a brand, anyone know their catchphrase? Again, let's see if Anna can do it quicker than anybody else, or Gareth's going to beat her. I've also got Sebastian in Belgium, and I'm sure he knows this as well. Actually, maybe not, because Stella Artois, it's how it's marketed here in the UK. Their USP or their catchphrase or their slogan or whatever. Let's see who gets that one up there. So, while I take coffee. Okay, I haven't got one up there yet. So Stella Artois. Think about any others actually as I'm doing this. Any others that you particularly like? Any slogan, any USP that you go, wow. Gareth was asking about recruitment websites. And if there are recruitment websites that you guys know and you go, wow, that's a really, really good one. Gareth, after this, what I might do is start to, I don't know, do a top 10 that I like. I know that there are other, industries like the NORAs, etc., that give awards out. You've made me think maybe I will. Maybe I will. I'll start a, top 10 recruitment websites, UK and worldwide. And that's a really, really good idea. Thanks, Gareth. Gareth, I'll have a look at yours first, because if we can sneak you into the top 10, we will do. All right, so look, I haven't got any answers on the... there it is, Gareth is up there. Reassuringly expensive. Gareth, bang on the money. Now, the reason why I particularly love that USP and their catchphrase and their line and everything else is, you know what? That's actually really, really clever. Really, really clever. Because what most people do on their things is say, we're the cheapest, we're pound shop. It's like, everything in our shop is a pound. So they play on this, that it's like, we're the cheapest, we're the fastest, we're the quickest. And what Stella Artois, just with those 2 words, have done is said, and they're not particularly expensive. In fact, Sebastian will tell you, here he is, he's told us, right? I knew he was going to do this. He's saying Stella in Belgium is basic beer that not many people drink. Just shows the power of marketing. He's bang on with that. I speak to Belgians about Stella Artois, and they laugh at me. It's like, why would you drink that beer? It's like toilet water. But it's amazing, reassuring, expensive. Whoever it is at their marketing team that came up with that slogan, that catchphrase, genius, because they've played up. We're expensive, and actually, you should feel good that we're expensive. Rely on the fact that if we're expensive, we're really good. Let's have a look at it. Anna, because you're worth it, L'Oreal. Do you know what, Anna? The thing is, it is cheesy, but it is memorable, isn't it? And they've gone that for years. L'Oreal have used that advert, and lots of different people. It's not just a European campaign; it's a worldwide campaign. It's obviously one of the most successful cosmetic product companies in the world. Spend a fortune, absolute fortune on their marketing, etc. Graham, not expensive when Asda do a multi-pack for a tenner. See, now Asda have got a different line, haven't they? What's the Asda's? I can't remember what their catchphrase is. Is it putting money in your back pocket or anyway, forget that. Right, so look, we kind of talked about loads of different ones. Let me just give you some stuff that I want you to do. In fact, a question that I want you to do. This is going to get your USP. All right, this is going to get your USP. Let me write it up here. Actually, that's a good thing. Oh, Rob, I love that. Apple think different. For me, that's brilliant. And you know what they're doing there, which is very, very clever. they're tapping into their audience. So, you know, tap into your customers, your clients, your candidates, but they're also tapping into them. They're saying, you as a customer think different, we as a company or as a brand think different. That is, I think, one of the all-time most brilliant USPs ever. I think if there was an awards on product USPs, that would definitely get there. And Apple have had several as well, several award-winning things. I'm going to type up a question for you. Just have a look. Just take 1 second. Let's just make sure my spelling is okay. I know I'm a bit slow, but just keep with me, right? So, you're in business. Oops. Okay. My typing is not good. I know I could have just read this out to you, but I want it to resonate with you. Okay, so now it's up there. You guys thought I was doing a paragraph. It's just a sentence, but it took me forever. So the question is, why should I choose to do business with your recruitment business or recruitment company versus any and every other option available to me? I'll get that again. Why should I choose to do business with your recruitment business or with you versus any and every other option available to me? And I think a lot of recruitment businesses don't get this. They go, okay, why should they choose me over my competitors? Wrong question. Wrong question. Why should they choose you over your competitors and every other option available to them, including not doing anything? That's what we miss. You know, why should they choose to do business with you versus using their internal recruiters? Why should they choose to do business with you versus running an advert? Why should they choose to do business with you versus, you know, I don't know, a referral scheme in their company? And so many of us, and you know, myself included, I'm guilty of this. On my websites, I ignored that. And I think one of you made the point earlier on that in 2014, when our clients, our client companies, and even our candidates, let's stick with clients for a moment, when our clients have the same tools available to them as you do to source candidates and job boards and CV libraries and all these different things, when they've got the same things and they can use those things, and actually they're being targeted by those companies, LinkedIn. I think somebody made a really good suggestion, like, why don't the whole recruitment industry get together and buy LinkedIn, and so then we can control it? I thought, brilliant. It's like, because clients are getting onto it. So you need something different. So that question again, why should I choose to do business with you, your recruitment firm, versus any and every other option available to me? So you start off with that question. Now, do you have a good answer to that? Look, your answer can't be we offer quality. It can't be we give great satisfaction. It can't be because our recruitment service is better. It's weak. It's fluff. They're marketing generalities. It's just your client is going to switch off, right? Your prospects and your candidates and your clients, they don't even hear it. It's just noise. And that noise is out there. We've demonstrated it through all of our industry. Everyone's saying the same bloody stuff. So it just loses its impact. Now these are things you need to do. You need to have a specific answer to that question that's benefit orientated to your ideal client. Okay, write that phrase down. It's got to be benefit orientated to your ideal client. Another example, I was talking about Domino's. FedEx was the other one, and I love this, right? The emphasis is on these words, where it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. You don't have to guess it or whatever. It's FedEx, right? Where it absolutely, positively has to be there overnight. Now, the Domino's one, the FedEx one, they're more than simple taglines. You know, people kind of go, oh yeah, you know, they're just taglines and they're just catchphrases or whatever. It's like they're not. They're benefit orientated. Remember the Domino's one, fresh hot pizza. That's, you know, it's like that's what I want. The benefit is I've got a fresh pizza, I've got hot pizza, and I've got it quick. And in fact, if you don't get it quick, I don't have to pay for it. That's even better. FedEx, where it absolutely positively needs to be there overnight, has to get there overnight. It's like benefit driven to the client, benefit driven to your candidate. That's how you need to think on that. Now, how do you define the USP? Let's just get straight down to the nitty gritty in the 10 minutes we've got left. First of all, get a narrowly defined positioning. All right, go towards narrowly defined positioning. So Domino's, remember, didn't say we've got the best pizzas ever, or we've got this secret sauce from the old country. They just said this pizza is going to be fresh and it's going to be hot. So narrow down your positioning, like Domino's did. Narrow it down. Tell them exactly what the benefit. Because when you try to be everything to everybody, you end up being nothing to nobody. There's a double in there. It's not quite right, but you know what I mean. You end up being beige. Thanks, John. Didn't work for Tom Hanks. You're absolutely right. In the film, I know. I'll give you exactly what you want, exactly when you need it, at a price you can afford. I like it. I really, really like it. Anna's on the ball with this, right? Anna, you're getting there. Let's have a look. When you try to do everything to everyone, you just nothing to everyone. That's probably what I needed to say. And so the more narrowly you can define your positioning within reason, the stronger the appeal that you're going to have to ideal clients and prospects. Remember what I said to you, old marketing theory, market wide, throw the nets out, let's get as many people through the door. The new thought, and it's not even thought, it's like the new evidence, is niche. Most of you know this because you're working in niches already, but niche, it's like thinking about, we don't deal with everyone, we just deal with this, and we do it so well. That's our USP. So straight away, narrowing it down gives you a kind of a USP anyway. I know Sebastian works in IT, and Sebastian, he and I go back a really long way. Some of you I know work in IT also. Sebastian, I remember at a time, in the good old bad old days, when recruitment businesses in IT just say we specialise in IT. It's like, oh my God, IT. It's like it's a universe out there. So that's not a specialism at all. So, the real clever money is in this niche. And actually, you know what I've seen? Niche within niche. So niche that, I don't know, maybe there's only 100 people in the world that can work in this particular thing. I think I've said to some of you, one of my retained search assignments that I had years and years ago was for a stress engineer's job. It wasn't a stressed engineer, there's a lot more of those, but a stress engineer's job, and it was for somebody to work in the design of aircraft, okay, so it's for an aviation company, one of the biggest aviation companies in the world, but it's for a stress engineer, and I didn't know anything about it, I really didn't know anything about it, but the client was the position was so specific. So that's a niche. Maybe I could set up a recruitment business. I don't know if there'd be enough positions or candidates, but a recruitment business that is stress engineers within aviation. I could then place stress engineers in, automotive, or stress engineers in boats or ships or trains or cars. Cars, automotive. You know what I'm saying. But specific narrowing down of your position is a really, really good thing. That's the first thing I want you to look at. The second thing I want you to look at is meaningful specifics. Meaningful specifics. What do I mean by that? Fresh hot pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less is not delivered sometime. Can you see what I'm saying? It's meaningful specifics. Is like, if you just turn around and go, you know what, we're the best recruitment company in the world. Okay, and I hope that there's not recruitment businesses that are saying that. But if you're specific about it, if there are meaningful specifics, I know if you are the number one in your area, that's a USP. That is your USP. So if you're the number one, I don't know, commercial recruitment agency in Sussex, brilliant. Use it. Use it for as long as you can use it, and as long as you're the number one. That's a meaningful specific. We've placed over 2,500 candidates in, I don't know, in the 5 years that we've been in operation. That's a meaningful specific. Our repeat business is at 82%. You know, clients that continue to work with us or give us a second assignment, 82%. 80% of our clients that work with us again. If it's a meaningful specific, that's a really, really good thing. So fresh pizza delivered in 30 minutes is not, we'll get you a pizza sometime, you know, meaningful specific. And the meaningful specific has got to be a benefit to your client or candidate, okay? Kate's asking me, can your location be your niche as we are a generalist agency? It's a really, really good point, actually, Kate. The mastermind has got a generalist desk or a commercial desk. Can your location be your niche? Yeah, absolutely right. It can be. Again, obscure positions. I'm a position up in Aberdeen, and actually, I struggled to fill it, but it's because major industry up there was the rigs, you know, the oil rigs, and the candidate they wanted wasn't necessarily in Aberdeen, but there were 2-3 people in the country, I think, that could do that job. So yeah, you know, your location could be. I know, for example, some niche recruiters that are the only one in their town or in their city. They're so specific. So yeah, of course you can. You can use the location as one. We're the #1 in Crawley. We're the #1 in Brighton. Yes, you can. Simple answer. Okay. Now, what have I left out? So the first one is narrowly defined positioning. The second one, meaningful specifics. The third one is guarantee. Guarantee. So, you know, and look, here's the deal. Pizza delivered in 30 minutes, guaranteed, or your money back. That's a guarantee. Now, I know in recruitment that's a bit hard to do, but if you can find any aspect of your recruitment service that you can guarantee, then feature it. Feature it, you know. Now, I don't like this particular form of marketing, but you know, the ambulance chasing lawyers that say, you know, no win, no fee. PPI, it's like, you know, you don't pay anything, no fees, no guaranteed. It's like, you know, you don't pay. That kind of thing. Now, we can't do that, or maybe you can. Who was it? I think it was somebody was asking me early on, John, I think it was, websites that I liked. Gareth, I think it was. Websites that I liked. You know what, Gareth, it may not be a USP, but one that I've seen recently that I really, really liked was a temp agency that was saying, you know, you don't pay for the first hour of our temp. Guaranteed. You know, so it's almost like a working interview. Now, I know that's not a brand new idea. It's actually an old idea that's being rehashed over and over again, but I think it's a good idea. Is it a USP? It's a USP for that temp agency in their location. None of their competitors are doing it. So they can really play up that one. They can make a feature of it, and it's really working for them. So that's where a guarantee helps. I've seen, you know, temps I've seen do that. Guarantee is a really good thing. What was the other one that we used to do? Selling retained search assignments. You could think, well, hang on a second, how do you guarantee anything? Well, actually, I didn't guarantee them anything. Other than, I'd say to them, if we, in our research, actually the guarantee is this. Any of you that work in retained will know. First stage on commencement of the assignment. Second stage on presentation of shortlist. Now, I would say to a client, you won't pay a second stage unless we as a company can deliver between 0 and 3 candidates, remember that phrase, well, between 0 and 3 candidates, that you accept to interview. Guaranteed. Now, you know, was that a good thing for me to do? Well, you know, quite frankly, we didn't get into a profit situation as a company until we went to placement. So we didn't get into profit from the first stage, second stage, shortlist. We got into profit when the candidate was placed on successful placement, successful offer and acceptance, start date, whatever. But that's when we hit profit. So by turning around to a client and saying, look, you don't have to pay us the second stage until you accept the shortlist, that was a guarantee, and it was a guarantee that clients felt comfortable with. It's like, wow, okay, that's good. So the only exposure they've got is 1/3 of the recruitment fee. Now, for some of you working contingency, you'd say, well, that's, you know, still the client's in for 1/3. From the client's point of view, They weren't in for the 100% or they weren't in for the 100%. They were in for 33%, 30%. So guarantees are a really, really good one to use. And you can always find, actually, you can always find something that you can guarantee. I'm really conscious of time. A couple other things that I want to just cover off with you, I think. Yeah, good. Okay, a couple of other things. Let me just do this with you. A lot of the time, your customers, your clients, actually your customers, your clients and your candidates, and this is what the mastermind did yesterday. They surveyed their clients and their candidates. They put something up on SurveyMonkey. They offered a really small incentive, I don't know, like an iPad or a tablet or a little Kindle or something. You know, just go into our survey, answer these 5 questions, and there was like a broad comment section or whatever, and grab a chance to win a brand new Kindle. It's a really good idea to ask your clients and your candidates what your USPs are. I know that sounds weird, but it's them. They're your audience. And you know, if they're your clients and your candidates, they are your ideal. They're the types of people that you want to attract as prospects. So ask them. They're really, really good. Sometimes they're better than us at answering that question. What are my USPs? I know that sounds like twisted in terms of logic, but it's spot on. They'll tell you why they bought you. Forget what you've written down in your website, your marketing messages. They will tell you why they bought you. They will tell you why they choose you, why they recommend you. So it's a great place to start. Ask clients, ask candidates. Think about, if you make, the reason why I like surveys, and I suggested to them a SurveyMonkey, surveymonkey.com. I think there's a free one and then there's a paid for one. SurveyMonkey.com. The reason why I like surveys is that some clients and candidates will be a bit embarrassed if you just rang them up and say, what do you like about us? What do you not like about us? What are USPs? They might be embarrassed to answer those kinds of questions, honestly. But on a survey, they can do it, and I can type stuff. There is actually surveys where you can be anonymous. I could put that stuff in, and I'm anonymous. The only problem with that is they can't win the prize, so you got to balance it out a little bit. I quite like them to be named, because sometimes people put loads of stuff in there. I'll ring them up and go, look, you put some great stuff in there. Do you mind if I talk to you some more? So some people just answer. They like simple tick boxes. Pick A, pick B, pick C. SurveyMonkey will do the whole thing for you. It's a really, really good tool. As I said, free, or there is a paid version of it that gives you better stats and stuff out. Okay, remember clients. What else can I tell you? Survey your market. Pay attention to what the market tells your clients tell you, and take action on it. Final thing before we wrap this session up: price-based USPs. I've told you I like the Stella Artois one, because it kind of twists it, it reverses it. If you don't have a USP, okay, so here is the thing. If you don't have a USP, then I'm telling you, prospects will judge you purely on price. If you don't have a USP, prospects will judge you purely on price. So, you know, and you know that when you're a consumer or whatever, you just go, okay, well, I want this. I'm not really caring who I buy it from. I'll do a Google search, and I'll come up with the cheapest option for me to buy online. We're all doing it right now for all of the Christmas prezzies that are going out and about. So we have no kind of, it's just purely driven on price. If I can find it on, I don't know, Amazon, and it's £2 cheaper and free postage and packing, boom, I'm gone. So if you've got no USP, your prospects will make a decision based on price. If you make your USP price, I would worry about you, okay? I would really, really worry about. I don't know if we've got any on, but I know that there are flat fee recruiters. I looked at a website yesterday. It was like we charge a standard 12.5% fee, or there are others that go, it's £1,000 invoice every single placement we make. The 12.5% was a 100-day, 100% rebate. So there are people that actually, and you know, I'm not knocking that at all. That's their USP. That's what they're selling on. I'm sure they've got other USPs. But if your USP is purely price, here's the deal. There will always be somebody in your market that will undercut you. And all you will do is you'll just get into a downward spiral. You know, virtually it will get to the stage where we'll end up paying clients to take our candidates. Anyway, that's me off my soapbox just for a minute. It's like I don't believe in selling on price. I don't believe in, you know, if you do that, it's a downward spiral. No differentiation. I think that's a really, really dangerous game to play. Okay, guys, I think that's everything that I wanted to do. In summary, your USP is not simply your tagline. Okay, it's what you stand for. It's your promise. It's your guarantee. I want you to make it so that the USP is synonymous with your brand. Don't rest on your laurels. Some of you I know have got USPs that have been your USP since you started back in 1888. I'm joking. But you've got USPs that have been around forever. Be really careful because your competitors are looking at them and they're constantly evolving. I mentioned Domino's, I mentioned FedEx. Any of those companies, they started off with those USPs. Check them out now. They've got new ones, all right, because they know the market catches up. So just because it's your USP today, don't assume it's going to be your USP forever. You've got to be constantly evolving. Make sure you stick it on all of your brand collateral, your marketing collateral. So USP on the back of your business cards, USP on your websites, USP on banners, USP written up in your office so that your staff feel the brand. You are your USP, all right? That's the final thing that I'll leave you with. Now, before I let you go, I just want to make sure that I have dealt with any questions. Whilst I'm doing that, I'm going to pop something up in your thing up here. Let me just do that for you. So I'm going to do that because a lot of people have asked. I've just launched a brand new sales program, right? And I'm not here to sell it or anything else. Just some people prior to this session were saying, Roy, have you got links to it and everything else? Let me put it up there for you. So in the right-hand side of your screen, you'll be seeing up there a thing. I just need, actually, because people are watching the replay may not see this. Guys, if you are watching the replay, if you just go to bit.ly, which is bit.ly/salesboot, SALESBOOT, that will take you to a page that will give you all of the detail on that program. It's a sales boot camp. It kicks off in January. It's £97 early bird, i.e. because you're on this webinar, if you get it, or you're watching the replay and you get it, if you get it now, like this week, you'll get it for £97. I promise you, it's not a sales gimmick. It is going to 297. What date, Dee? Okay, so there are only 97 of these access passes. So as soon as that figure hits 97, it's clicking over to £297. It's a steal, all right? So if you haven't got it yet, get it. It's a really, really good thing for you. Right, let me come back to see if there are any questions. John, the video didn't work for me on the Sales Boot site. John, actually, good point for you guys. What I found out about that video, you've got to be using Google Chrome, because I did a test on Internet Explorer. I used Mozilla Firefox. It didn't work for me, all right? So you've got to be using Google Chrome. John, the fact that you've clocked that up, I'll make sure my guys... Apparently you can watch it on YouTube. The only thing is you'll need to go back to that page to say, yes, I want it. So if you can't see the video, it's coming up with an error message saying, you know, you can't embed this or whatever. Go to YouTube, watch the video, and then the rest of, and actually the video is really short. It's not even a, you know, I don't tell you much about the program. Everything under that video is what you need to know about the program, including the cost and when it kicks off, etc. So if you can't see the video, read the copy underneath, and you will get it. John, you're using Safari. It's the only one I didn't test yesterday, and I think, actually John's saying I use Google. So
I've had somebody else say Google Chrome didn't work, so that's why we put it live on YouTube.
I've just been told, a few people actually have said it's not working on Google. Go to YouTube, get the video, watch the video, go back to that page, and then join it from there. John, thanks for, it's not on your YouTube channel as of yesterday. John, bless you. I've been told. Now, I tell you what, John, if I get off this webinar and it's not been done, heads are going to roll in here, all right? So trust me. John, I'll email it to you, all right? So don't worry about that. Gareth, I once had a client that had an honesty policy on their website with statements such as, we guarantee our prices may not always be the cheapest. in the spirit of reassuring the expensive. I like that one, Gareth. I used to tell people that. Say, look, you know what? Straight off the bat, I'm going to tell you, we're not the cheapest. We're just the best. We're definitely not the cheapest. That's not, you know. And if you want a cheap option, Mr. Client, let me give you some other ones. You know, CV sifting services, etc. I used to sell against competitors that were going on price. You know, here's a quick tip for you. I used to put, and apologies, right? Don't shoot the messenger. This is just what I used to do. If a client hit me with, oh, well, your competitor is doing it at 12%, I'll go, okay, brilliant. Mr. Client, quite frankly, first of all, the difference between what I'm describing to you and what you may have been told by other companies, I will tell you 12.5% just for a CV sifting service. I would have asked them, what do you think you're going to get for the 12.5 versus ours? 12.5%, quite frankly, you're being overcharged. Let me give you another couple that will do it at 10%. So if the client was all about price, I'm like, do you know what? That price, you can get it cheaper than that. Let me tell you where to go. And I'd give them bargain basement. I really, really would. That's not me, because if your client's going to make, sorry, if your prospect is going to make a decision based on price, and the difference between 10% or 12.5% and your fee at 20 or whatever it is, don't go competing in that. Now, that's not the advice I would have given you in the depth of, you know, recession as it was. I would have said to you, look, you know, get that business at whatever, get it, and then, you know, look to build a relationship and bring it up. But now, guys, you do not need to be, you know, just discounting on price. Build value in your proposition. Anyway, off the soapbox. Let me just see. Rob, have you ever come across a company that established a really narrow niche, then struggled to diversify later? Yeah, I have, Rob. And actually, I learnt this from one of the masterminds. He's on here today, Graham. You know, I was talking to him about, oh, you know, maybe we can kind of, I was naming some markets that we can diversify into. And Graham, who's a very, very experienced recruiter, you know, kind of beats me in terms of the number of years working recruitment. Graham said, you know, sometimes it's easier to take a single step away from the market that you've built your reputation in rather than a giant leap. And those words have massive resonance with me. You know, if you can just take a single step, so the diversification is not, boom, you know, all of a sudden we're going renewable energy or oil and gas because it's like the number one, you know, or financial services. Find something that's maybe a single step away from your existing market and go diversifying that, because they'll be similar. You'll know the language, you'll know you know, the technologies, etc. But that might work, John. But it's how you sell it, cheap versus expensive. When you factor in different channels, cost per hire, time to cost is often cheaper to hire an agent. Cost is often cheaper. Yeah, you're right. You're right, John. Agency cost is often. Yeah, you know, absolutely right. You know, any of you that know my training know that I really talk a lot about the hidden cost of recruitment. So if you've got time with a client to be able to demonstrate, you know, how much it costs them to keep a position open, how much it costs them to advertise and fail, how much it costs them to interview unsuitable candidates, time, money, profit, you know, clients, customers, all those. Hidden cost of recruitment, boy, ours is always going to come up trumps on that. Our service, our offering, always going to come up trumps. But often you don't get the opportunity to be able to demonstrate that with a prospect, with a client, definitely with a prospect. We don't often get a chance to do it. Maybe our website should do that more. Okay, guys, I think we are going to draw it to a close. I'm going to keep this up. Some of you I know need to go. Yep. Well, I can see that loads of you are staying in the room, and thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that. If any of you need to go, let me just round off the session. If any of you need to go, let's just close off the session. If any of you want to stay on this session with me for, I don't know, another 5-10 minutes, I love to chat, particularly about this subject, selling and recruitment. So I'd stay on here as long as and answer as many questions as I can. For the ones that are going to leave us now, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, let's have a look. Remember that that sales superstars, the online bootcamp, that's available to you. If you haven't looked at it, look at it. If it's something you want to do, get it quick. If it's not for you, that's fine. I won't be offended. But check it out. There are I don't think there are 97 passes left, but there were 97 passes at £97. And then as soon as those are gone, it's going up to 300 quid, 297. So get in there. Right. If you've got to go, Bye. Thank you very much for working with me today. Remember, work hard on your recruitment business, not just be busy working in it, and make a difference in the lives of your clients, your candidates, and your colleagues. All right, have a great day. See you soon. For the people who want to stay on this, just hang on with me whilst anyone needs to go. I can see some of you have had to go, and you know that. No worries at all. Now look, let me go back to the for the people that are still in here. Let's have a look at any other questions that have come up. Oh, Kate, let me just check Kate's still here because she's asked a great question. She's not, but let me try and deal with this. Kate, she was asking about stats. What about stats? 5 to 3 to 1, 5 CVs, 3 interviews. Would clients get? That would save them time. Do you know what, Kate? It's a really, really good thing because what you're saying there is that your production. Okay, it's your production, it's your matching, it's your success, it's what you do. And actually, stats are a really, really good thing. So rather than just saying, look, we're really good at matching, it's like turning around and saying, look, for every job that you give us, our average stat is 5 to 3 to 1. We submit 5 CVs, 3 interviews, in general 3 to 4 interviews from that, with a placement at the end. We're proud to stand by that. Let's prove that to you. It's a really, really good thing. So, Kat, I know you're not hanging in here. If you're listening to the replay, sorry I didn't deal with your question in the live. Sorry, in the the hour broadcast, but there it is. Good. Okay. Do you know what? I can't see any more questions out there, and I can see all of you hung in there for it. Look, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me today. You can, people that are new to my sessions, you can see I'm passionate about recruitment and recruitment business, and I have been for 27 years. This is my life. This is what I love doing, is helping recruitment business leaders grow their existing businesses and do things with it. Please come and hang out with me again. To be informed of that, if you're not a mastermind, the private coaching is closed now. I've got the masterminds that I'm working with, that's closed, the private one-to-one coaching, but there are other programs available to you. The best site for you to go to is royripper.com. You can see everything that's there, books and programs, and if the private coaching, when that gets opened up again, that's where it will be announced. So get onto royripper.com. There's loads of free stuff there. If you've not seen that, loads and loads of free downloads, forms, templates, book, all these kinds of different things. Everything is there. So get into royripper.com, get that free stuff. And the other thing is the YouTube channel. There's loads and loads of stuff on the YouTube channel. John Brophy, I'm going to check that. As I said to you, if that video is not up there, heads are going to roll, John. And I'll. Okay, there's a reprieve, John. Somebody's just told me it is there. So get back in there and have a look. John, if you get problems with that, let me know, and I'll make sure we get you a link on something that you can watch. Guys, listen, thank you very, very much. Have a great rest of your day, and remember that sign off: work hard on your business, not just in it, and make a difference in the lives of your clients, your candidates, and your colleagues. Hope to see you soon. Goodbye.